Hello everyone! Welcome back to another 2v2 Warhammer battle. This is the Warriors of Chaos and the Dwarves versus the Beastmen and the Greenskins. A lot of forces here. So, going on with my army, we have 3 Chaos Warriors with great weapons. We have the Mirror Guard being led by Prince Sigvald. Up in the air, we have a Chaos Sorcerer of Shadows, and then 2 additional Chaos Pharaoh Manticores. In the back line here, we have the Swords of Chaos, and then 2 Chaos Warhounds with Poison, along with the Weird Spawn. The goal here is that Prince Sigvald is going to have double bodyguard duty with the Mirror Guard and the Swords of Chaos. Honestly, you're probably better off just getting another Chaos Warrior great weapon, but because I brought Sigvald, I was like, I gotta bring the Mirror Guard. Then, of course, the Swords of Chaos, because they're amazing. Then for the Dwarf player, we have a bunch of Longbeards. We have 2 Iron Breakers here and here. We have Corlers, 3 Slayers, 2 Gyrocopters with Brimstone Guns, be led by Ungram Iron Fist. Then going for the enemy, the Beastmen. Their front line consists of 3 Spearmen, 1 Bestigor. Then they're being led by Kazurak the One-Eye. They have a Brave Shaman of the Wild who will cast a Centaur, not Centaur, jeez, a Cygor later on in the battle. Speaking of, they started the battle with an additional Cygor. They also have a Minotaur with great weapons right here. Over here they have a Razorgore Chariot. And then off in the side we have Centaurs with throwing axes, great weapons, and then a Gore Herd. For the Greenskins, they have a lot of Gobos. We have a front row here of Gobbo Rock Lobbers, including the Hammer of Gork. Then behind them we have some Night Goblins and then the Nasty Skulkers. And then behind those you have more Nasty Skulkers being led by Skarsnik and an Orc Shaman with Foot of Gork, and here we go. Then in the very back, Ragnarok Queen. Off to the side, Broken Tusk Mob, and then off in Vanguard deployment, we have the Goblin Morgrub's Mangy Marauders, the armor-piercing Goblin Archers. Let's press play. I'm going to be a little bit ahead of my teammate here, so instead of continuing to move forward, I'm just going to kind of move down, just like what I'm doing. Where's my thingamabout? There we go. Down there like that. I see these throwing axe Centaurs, so my initial plan is to go like bloop and bloop, try and pin them in there with the Chaos Puppies. Not going to happen, but that was my initial plan there. Over here, my ally and my Manticores are going to reveal the Night Goblin army of the Greenskins. Initially, I wanted to try and take out all of these artillery pieces, but I'm like, that's too many Gobbos. I'll just let the Dwarf player with their Brimstone Guns take out that Cygor. Because right now, the Beastman player is going way out of position, and right here I'm trying to actually withdraw a little bit. I wanted to go back in here because I can see my ally is starting to form up, looking like they're going to go like this, and so we could just hit this player from 2 sides, but they do charge a little bit faster than we can pull out, so we're just going to have to take this charge. And what I do is I run one of my Chaos Puppies into the Centaurs to try and blunt their charge. You can see they didn't really do too much damage to my Chaos Warriors because of that help right there, which I'd rather have a Chaos Warrior up than a Chaos Puppy, though Chaos Puppy is really good too, especially with poison. Anyway, we're going to take this engagement, so we're going to throw the puppies, Chaos Warriors, we're going to throw in the Swords of Chaos, Sigvald, and the Mirror Guard. Meanwhile, Chaos Warriors is going to go bloop, and then we're going to go bloop, and then bloop. Meanwhile, over here, we have the Chaos Puppies chasing off the Centaurs with throwing axes. We're just going to kind of stand in for a little while. Right here, I cast the Pit of Shadows, but they're actually going to move their Hunkor Herds away from there, which is very sad for me. And you can see my allies immediately throwing in the Slayers over here to try and start dealing with the Minotaurs with great weapons. I see them going after our Pharaoh Manticores and our Chaos Sorcerers, so I'm going to try and get them onto the Brave Shaman, because I can see the Slayers coming over here, and they're going to pin these forces down right there. Meanwhile, the Greenskin player is really slow in moving forward, so we are actually going to be able to hit this Beastman player because they charge right forward. They were not being slow at all, right into our forces, so now they're going to get flanked by the Dwarves. I'm going to take out this force right here, and you can see we've already routed the Centaurs, doing some decent damage to Kazurak the One-Eye, and along with what remains of the front line because we have Chaos Warriors and Weird Spawn all up in there. Meanwhile, back over here, the 2 Pharaoh Manticores are going to now split up because the Greenskins' main army has moved up. So we're going to go bloop, and we're going to try and take out these forces and try and take out the Orc Shaman. But with big creatures targeting units that are not mounted, it's very difficult for them to do anything a lot of the time. So not going to get much work done against the Shaman, but we are going to get some work done against their artillery. Meanwhile, we're going to chase off these Razorgore Chariots with our Pharaoh Sorcerer, our Sorcerer of Shadows. We're going to chase them all the way over here until we get these Chaos Puppies on them right there, and then we're going to peel the Chaos Sorcerer back over here. You can see we have routed the front line of the Beastmen, and now the Greenskin player is finally getting into position. The Dwarf player has been hammered pretty heavily by the Cygor and all of the artillery. That's why I'm trying my best to go over here and stop it, and you can see that they are trying to shoot them as well. Meanwhile, we have a Summon Cygor right here, which is going to start throwing rocks as well. Ragnarok Spider up in the middle, taking out the Longbeards. I'm going to assist them with 1 Chaos. Actually, I think I do, actually. I don't attack the Ragnarok with my Chaos Warriors. I'm like, let's not do that. I am trying to catch the Minotaurs with great weapons. They were routed briefly by the Slayer, so we're going to catch them here with Prince Sigvald, throw in the Mirror Guard and the Chaos Warrior. Meanwhile, the Swords of Chaos and the Weird Spawn were chasing into these Broken Tusk. So what happened over here is that the Broken Tusk mob came through here, looked like they wanted to charge, and then they started to walk backwards, and I was like, the player probably isn't paying attention to them. So then I charged them down with the Swords of Chaos, caught them, and then the Chaos Warriors and Weird Spawn came in, so we denied them their charge, and they kind of got crushed. So here we go, you see the exchange. We're going to run off the Razor Gore Chariot there, and then the Chaos Sorcerer is going to be coming back up here. I'm trying to remember where he goes. I think he's going to be casting another Pit of Shadow. There we go, right there. Then we're going to be casting the Withering on Kazarak, who did do a withdrawal back here to try and get some of their troops back with the morale. We're going to cast the Withering when he gets back up to here. In the meantime, we're routing off those Minotaurs with great weapons. We've routed off one of the Rock Lobbers, working on the second one, and we tried to kill the Orc Shaman, but again, didn't get too much done. And now we're going to pull the Manticores over here to try and deal with the Cygors. As the Pit of Shadows, in case you missed it, just helped wreck all of these units. And the Swords of Chaos came in, and they are routed. Weird Spawn coming in. There goes the Withering on, Enfeebling Foe, my bad. On Kazarak to one eye, we're going to pin him down with these Chaos Warriors. We're also fighting the Bestigors. Then we're going to throw Prince Sigvald, who's going to start doing really good damage right over there. Then we're going to bring the Chaos Sorcerer over there as well. Greenskins, Gobos are routing through the Terror. I don't remember this, but apparently I assigned the Swords of Chaos to attack the Centaurs with throwing axes. And they're just going to kind of chase, and they're just going to chase, and then just don't worry about these units anymore in this battle. Meanwhile, over here, we brought down the Cygor with our two Pharaoh Manticores. Now, again, we're going to work on the Orc Shaman, I think. Meanwhile, we have a Chaos Warrior working on the Brave Shaman over here, who's casting a couple spells on my Chaos Warriors right there, including a few Devolves. The Arachnar Queen is routing past our warriors and manages to fear us, or terrify us, because terror still works even when you're routing, which I think is one of the dumbest things, but maybe it's hard to code terror to turn off temporarily as the unit is routing. I think it should. If something is routing and fearing for its life, I think it loses its terrifying effect. You know, it never sit well with me how they still exude fear and terror even when routing. And shattering, I believe. But you can see the damage we did to Kazarak over there with Sigvald, so he was forced to run away. But there's really not much hope left because we have routed off the Gobos. There goes, again, don't worry about those units way out there. And we are going to get a shatter on the Greenskins and the Beasts. So, the downfall, as it is in many cases, the enemy team loses it on their own by engaging us one at a time. Now that, it was like a 0.5. Wait, does that even make sense? Not a 0.5. It was like a 1.5. Because they engaged us, we managed to do a 2v1 for a brief amount of time, then the Gobbles came, but there was just too much of a period between the Beastmen and then the Greenskins engaging us. So we were able to isolate and destroy the Beastmen for the most part, and then we were able to turn around and, well, wreck all of those poor goblins. God, they got crushed by that Pit of Shadows, the amount of damage that did. I mean, they didn't have a chance anyway. They were going to get beat back. That just kind of, well, expedited the process. But anyway, good game to Alexka, Snorri Nosebiter, and Donald Ducker. Take a look at the kills here. Unger Iron Fist, 13 kills. I'm not sure what he was doing. I don't pay attention to Unger Iron Fist. I try to block him out, even if he's an ally. The Gyrocopters did a lot of good damage to the Cygor that was brought by the Beastman player in the back. Slayers did a lot of good damage to the Minotaurs, and who else were they fighting? I think a Bestigor herd, and then went to fight off Gobos too. A lot of good damage there. Then for the Beastman player, again, they just couldn't take me and the dwarves on at the same time, so they kind of got crushed. And then by the time the Gobos came in there, they were all clumped up, and we managed to, well, take them out, because they're Gobos, and they're not super tough. Especially when isolated against dwarves and a Chaos player. But it was fun to bring Prince Sigvald. He didn't really do many kills, but he was mostly on Kazarak, and in the initial engagement, I think I had him on the Centaurs and the Minotaurs before they pulled out. But, I mean, the thing is, the problem with him is that he has no mobility, which is going to make sure that he's never a great lord, but he is fun. He has regeneration, which is neat, and, you know, with the guardian ability, he is a little bit tankier, but he just doesn't have the mobility. But if anyone actually wants to fight him 1v1, he can do a lot of good damage. It's just that the enemy can always choose to be like, you know, I'm just going to walk on this horse or flying mount, or I'm a monstrous creature, so I'm faster than you, and they can just walk away. That's the problem with him, with Grimgor, Ironhide, with Unger, well, actually with all of the dwarf lords for the most part, because they're all on, you know, short little dwarf legs. And yeah, so the problem with those heroes is that you can just ignore them. How many times have you seen us win against a dwarf player who brought Unger Iron Fist or not Grimgor, the White Dwarf, Grombrindle, you know, these very powerful melee fighters, because we just ignore them. And then they are there at the very end of the match like, hey, why did you run away from me this whole time? I didn't do anything. And I'm like, well, that's kind of the point. You're pretty slow. You're a dwarf. I'm sorry. And that's always going to be the problem when it comes to lords that don't have mount options. But again, Prince Sigvald is cool, especially if you're rolling with the Mirror Guard. I've talked a lot. Let's go watch the cinematic view. It does look really cool to see Sigvald with the Mirror Guard. Counter charge. And these Gorhers, they don't have a chance in this combat. My god. They are basically outclassed by everything except for the puppies. And there come the crazy slayers. And my Manticore is just gonna be like, bloop, and we're out of there. Have fun, Slayers, with those Minotaurs. Those Cygors sure hurt though. So does this. I'm not entirely sure what's being targeted on them. Wasn't a friendly spell. Maybe that was from Skarsnik. Maybe that was Skarsnik's wall or something.
Time to despoil. Immortal Karanis desire.
Yeah, take that, Cygor. You're gonna die anyway because you have summoning sickness, but I couldn't wait for that.
Retreat! Blood! Blood for all!
Where you going, Kazrak? Where you going? There we go. So thanks for watching, everybody. I hope you enjoyed some Sigvald action with his Mirror Guard and Swords of Chaos. I'll see you all next time. Take care.